Hello everyone, I would like to present you the architecture of my coach agent project that I developed, and I will perform also a demo of it. Many of you ask me more details on this application, and it started from a real standard web app, web applications. I mean, you have a website with HTML and JavaScript communicating by a REST API to a backend to update my plan, my training plan, my achievements, to get the plan templates and so on. So I have really a basic REST API interaction with the backend developed in Go, and the data are persisted in Firestore. In this backend is running on Cloud Run, not here in the demo. The demo is only local, and I plan to secure it with Firebase authentication to ensure the access and the security of the service. Of course, as you know, it's an agentic application, so I used ADK to have my agents here. My agent has a prompt, instruction prompt, as tooling to interact with my backend, especially, not only, especially to get and to update the plan, my training plan, my achievements in the backend. This ADK is use Python. It's not the Java version, but the Python version here. But I chose not to expose it directly to the web applications. Why? Because I would like to add a secure layer in the middle. I named it agent wrapper. Maybe it's not a good naming, but it is again to implement here the security with Firebase authentication, also to manage the session, the creation of the session, and so on, and it's developed in Golang. The main principle of this, especially to have a backend and the agent wrapper and ADK, is to have a separation of concern. Each layer is responsible of each task, agent to interact, backend to store and to check the business logic, and the wrapper to ensure the security of the access. And as you know, this coach agent is a stretching coach agent, and when you're performing stretching, you are on the floor or you are stand up and so on, you don't have your cell phone in your hand. And it's not obvious to interact with your cell phone with your finger when you're performing stretching. That's why interacting with the voice is much more intuitive and easy to follow your achievement and to interact with your application. That's why I chose to interact a real-time streaming bidirectional audio and text feature to chat with the agent. First with the wrapper, because the wrapper ensures the security. And in fact, the wrapper acts as a proxy to forward the WebSocket data to the ADK. Again, in bidirectional audio and text streaming. I also have some REST API on the chat to delete the session, to create, or to check them. So it's only a technical part to manage it like this. But from there, I have a problem. My problem is the following. If I have my web page or my mobile applications or my responsive application on my cell phone, and I interact vocally by voice with my agent and tell the agent to increase the number of repetition of these stretching drills. The agents will use the tool and update the backend. But if I'm doing this, the web interface, the web page, will be desynchronized with the reality of my achievements that have been stored in Firestore. That's why I chose to add a real-time synchronization between the backend and the web application. Like this, I created a WebSocket to receive plan updates when the update has been made on the backend. Could be by the agent, could be by API request coming from elsewhere, could be this. And I have also the same problem with the agents. If I update manually my plan, my achievement directly from the web, the context of the agent will be desynchronized with the reality of my achievements in Firestore. That's why I also added a WebSocket to forward the events, the update events from backend to the agent wrapper, and the agent wrapper injects in text version, not in audio version, but in text version, injects the data, the updates plan directly from the WebSocket in the wrapper to ADK. And ADK has the up-to-date plan like this. Because of this, I have synchronized data between the ADK, the web, and the backend. Now, let's jump to the demo. In fact, when you are loading the application, you have the page, the plan of today, you are the 1st of July, and you have all your categories and the drills that you have to achieve. You can increase or decrease each of the drills, or you can increase or decrease the whole category if you are performing a wall run of this category in the back. You can add some notes if you want, some pain, some success, whatever. And you can do it manually here, like this. You can increase or decrease the value. I have also implemented a multi-language part for this. And you also have a chat part here when you can connect the streaming, the bidirectional text and audio streaming directly here. So I can increase my session here, and I can interact with my agent directly like this. I can speak in French, English, whatever. Hey, how are you? What's the plan of today?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Today's plan includes stretching for your back, legs, neck, and shoulders. I see you've already completed one repetition of the abdominal stretch. Would you like to continue with the remaining back stretches or move on to another category?
Yeah, here you can see that my agents can answer me and help me to follow my achievements and to continue and to complete all of them. I mute the mic to be able to speak to you and not speak to the agents. As you can see, I have a transcript directly here in the chat. I can hide it with this slider. I can also mute the response, the voice response of the agent like this, if you are in the training room and stuff like this. You can also hide all the blue messages here, the debug messages, if you want to hide them. And you can continue to iterate and to ask and to speak to the agent. Now you can see that when I ask the agent to increase one repetition of one drills, you can see a real-time synchronization with the web. I will ask another abdominal stretch. I just completed one another repetition of the abdominal stretch.
Great job on completing another repetition of the abdominal stretch. You have one more repetition left to complete this exercise. Would you like to do it now or move on to another stretch?
You can see here I have a log message that my plan has been real-time updated, and you can see here I have this number increased to 2. But I can also do the opposite way. I can increase here my repetition directly in the web page, and the WebSocket from the backend to the agent wrapper and forwarding it to the agent will be catch, and my agent will encourage me to complete and to continue.
Fantastic! You've completed the abdominal stretch. Now, would you like to continue with the rest of the back stretches or move on to another category like legs, neck, or shoulders?
Yeah, like this, you can see that I have a source of events, and all the stuff are updated in the same time and in real time. I didn't show you, but I can also interrupt my my agent if I want. Can you add a note on the abdominal stretch because I have some pain in the back?
I've added a note about the
Okay,
back
thank
pain
you.
for the abdominal. You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with today? We can continue with the remaining back stretches or move on to another category.
So here you can see that I have an update. I don't know why the updated has been, I set my repetition to 0, maybe a bug here. Maybe I have to improve the prompts, but you can interact like this and interrupt your agent. Finally, I have another tool. Okay, I have a tool to interact with my backend. I have also added a tool, a cool tool when you have when you're performing stretching session or muscle session or whatever, is to have a timer. Start a timer to start, I don't know, the abductor stretching. I will test it. Start a timer of 10 seconds for the abductor butterfly.
All right, I've started. Great job! You've completed the 10-second timer for the abductor butterfly stretch. I've updated your plan accordingly. How did that feel? Are you ready to move on to another stretch?
Okay, here you can see that I have 10 seconds timer from the beginning to the latest messages, and the abductor butterfly has been increased to 1 because at the end of the timer I increased this repetition. That's my coach agents up to now. I have other ideas to improve it, but the state of the 3rd July, because it's it's a new trick here, it's this, and I hope you enjoy it and you discover what you can do with ADK. Thank you everyone.